Hey, y'all, back again. And this is a live show. If you're watching this, um, it's a live show doing, get some exercise, trying not to get fat during quarantine. Um, Trying to get the sunshine. Although there's no sunshine, but maybe it'll still help. Who knows? So, yep, just walking, talking about whatever y'all want to talk about. This is the live motivational walk away from quarantine. So, whatever motivates you. Sebastian, welcome aboard. We'll talk about entrepreneurship. We'll talk about hopping on that boat and making success happen. Isn't that right? So, yep. Just walking out here through the mud and the grass and the dirt. You change your name, man. That's cool. Yep. I changed mine from the original, which was Irish Guy, to Irish Guy's Adventure Channel, because it's more exciting and more all-encompassing. And all-encompassing is important. Subby plays. There you go. Sub penny stocks. Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, subby plays can be a lot of fun, especially the trips, 0001 through 0009 price per share. Those are always exciting. Typically a good opportunity to lose it all, but there are some rare birds that fly from the trips to the double zeros, and if you're really lucky, to the pennies. And if it's if a miracle's in play, multi-dollar range. It happens. I remember BP oil spill, when they had, and I forget the name of the ticker, but it was a company that was affiliated with the cleanup, and that sucker ran from trips. I know some people that became even multi-millionaires. I mean, even more millionaires overnight. You earned 6 more subscribers. Congrats, man. Keep it up. And everybody's watching this live stream, be sure to subscribe to, what's your new screen name again? The guy that just commented in the video. Subscribe to his channel. Help him break through the first 1,000 subscribers real quickly. He's at 25. That's Sebastian that's watching and commenting right now during this live show. Be sure to subscribe to his channel. Yeah, man, that's the thing, dude. Just, keep churning and increasing that subscriber count, because that's what matters, man. Subscribers matter. Obviously, content matters a lot. You gotta get videos out there to get people watching. And I mean, YouTube's a serious business. It's as serious as you may choose to make it. Or I know a lot of people that tried and they failed, and then I know some people that are really doing super well with YouTube. So I say, I mean, I love penny stocks, but the thing is, with penny stocks, you've got that downside, and there's the opportunity to lose. And obviously, never speculate with anything you wouldn't want to lose. But that's the thing about YouTube, is that it's exciting, and it's it's got the analytics piece. You can nerd out over YouTube analytics, just like you may nerd out over penny stock, looking at the charts and looking at the press releases and looking at the filings and looking at what's going on in the forums and trying to figure out what's the next pump and dump. YouTube's really cool because you get that same sort of fun. If you like numbers and you like growth and you like money, you can analyze your YouTube just like you would analyze a penny stock. That's cool, man. So what's your new intro going to be? What's your new intro going to be? Don't forget your call for actions, hey man, welcome to Sebastian's channel or whatever. And then at the end, have an outro clip. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do, and you'll be notified whenever I post another video. What I do with my call for actions is I create a variety of intros and I create a variety of outros. And a pro tip for you, if you have royalty-free music, do not include it as part of your intro or outro. Because what you would want to do to make things more efficient is you can always overlay royalty-free music. But if you've already got it in your outro or intro, then it's music on top of music. So for that reason, for your intro and outro, record the original only with spoken parts, even if you do speak, if you narrate it. And add the royalty-free music separately. And in that way you can mix it up too. So every time that somebody watches one of your videos, it's fresh. It's a really cool pink and white and black. Yeah, those are good colors. Anything that stands out, because when people start watching, or even if they're thumbnail is important too, to have that thumbnail with the bold text and the eye-catching image. Because when somebody's scrolling through YouTube, maybe they're looking for educational videos, maybe they're just looking for entertainment. When there's something with bold colors or a nice photo, or maybe a combination of both plus text, it creates curiosity and makes people want to click. So, if you can come up with, there's some sort of animal in this bush. I just heard something over there. I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to mess with it. So if you can, that's kind of like your now open sign out in front of a restaurant, your thumbnail. You got that, people see it, they get curious. And, maybe, sometimes, and I've run thousands of experiments with YouTube, sometimes I don't even make a thumbnail. Sometimes I just let, because when YouTube after it processes your video, it'll create, like I think it's 3 or so thumbnails from your video itself. And sometimes those are good enough to use. And in certain situations, I found that if I want to come across as more approachable and more authentic, sometimes I don't take the time to create a really fancy thumbnail with bold text. Sometimes I just let it pull out of the video. I've got one video on my channel, and feel free to check it out. This video did not, literally I filmed it with my iPhone. I didn't edit it. And as you can check it out, it's how to bake pork chops. It's on my channel. Check out my how to bake pork chops video. that video filmed completely on a phone, that video is a heavy hitter. And it's just, hey, I'm baking pork chops in the oven. Here's how I did it. And the video or the thumbnail was just a thumbnail that YouTube automatically extracted from the video after it processed it. So, you don't always have to have playing a variety of games for my special. Yeah, I mean, keeping it, not just, here's the thing, if you run multiple experiments and figure out what works for your channel and what your viewers like, and then one of your best friends with YouTube, do you have a TikTok account? You know what? I don't. And that makes me sound old because I don't have a TikTok. Because I know that's kind of the emerging thing. I haven't researched TikTok. Can you monetize TikTok like you can YouTube? Is there any way to get ad revenue from views, or do you know? Because if there is, now, I mean, I love YouTube. I'm not trying to step away at all, but if there's something concurrently I can do to generate more ad revenue, I'm all for it. As long as it's not a time commitment. One thing I dislike is having to run a very time-consuming workflow for a variety of different platforms. And that's primarily now the reason, other than Facebook and Instagram, and I will know how to cook chicken and other things. There you go. Why I've kind of stepped away. I still use Facebook. I still use Instagram. But the fact that Facebook, for some unknown reason, has blocked irixguy.com from Facebook and Instagram blows my mind. And I've contacted them multiple times. No response. So, I still put a little bit there because those platforms do have people that use them. And I look at Facebook and Instagram as let's just call it just another part of the funnel. People may find me there and then, stumble upon my honey hole, which is YouTube and my website. So, there's still value. And I think for that reason, to your point, with TikTok, I think that I need to research that. Even if you may not be able to monetize TikTok directly, maybe it's got enough viewers. And yeah, let me know how TikTok goes, Sebastian, as that would be good to know. Actually, you piqued my curiosity. I think after I walk about 6 miles and take a shower, I think I may sit down and sign up for TikTok. And, if it's something I can do, and, preferably something, it's a video platform. If I can use, if not the entire video, because I think it's shorter duration. Again, I haven't used TikTok yet. But if I could at least, especially for travel videos, leverage the amount of exposure that TikTok seems to be receiving to push people to YouTube and to push people to my website, irixguy.com. I think there could be some tremendous value there. So I thank you for saying that. Yeah, Sebastian says TikTok is one of the most popular apps right now. So that's cool, man. I mean, I'm an old dude. I got gray hair and I'm not, I always try to be hip and up on current things, but I've gotten as I've gotten older, I've kind of gotten what's like, I played the field technologically, and I've found the places where I can make money consistently. And with that being said, that's a dangerous statement, because if someone finds where they can make money consistently and they find a way to scale those earnings, that's a dangerous thing if they stick with what works. And I think for that reason, just like you mentioned, again, TikTok, that's something I need to pick up. And I think the, anything else that's not time wasted. I mean, I know there's been some social media platforms that have come and gone. I mean, like, they were just a waste of time, like Snapchat, and I don't know if you remember Friendster. And then a long time ago there was MySpace, which died. Good deal, man. The more channels, the merrier, and especially if you can cross-pollinate content. That's a good thing. Something that I've gotten a lot of, and you may see as your channel grows, is the opportunities to join what are referred to as multi-channel networks, MCNs. They'll come to you when you hit if there's something, if you've got a video that interests them, or if they've noticed that your channel's gotten really large. They're always scanning for new YouTube channels to join their network. Now, what a multi-channel network does is I'm never going to join one, and I've been invited about probably 400 or 500 times, and I listen to their spiel, and I've even had some of them that have said, hey, if you sign up with us, we'll offer you X $1,000 as a sign-on bonus. And I'm like, I'm not interested, but thank you. I've had offers to Soul Night. Cool. I've had offers for people wanting to buy my YouTube channel for over $250,000 US, and I've thanked them, but I've turned it down. If your channel grows like you want it to, you're probably going to be targeted by a lot of people, and keep in mind, people wouldn't be offering those small amounts of cash if, you got to have a unique YouTube name. That's true. You really do. But, people wouldn't be offering those small, what could seem like a sizable amount of cash, but they wouldn't be offering that if they knew they couldn't make, Tim, actually, it wasn't 250. It was closer to 300,000 US, which, it's easy to say, oh, that's a big number. But when you look at it, number one, people wouldn't be willing to invest in something like that if they didn't see, the opportunity to quickly recoup that, and then, cover their initial investment of the 275 or 280,000, whatever it was. The problem is, a lot of people, there's people that have sizable channels that, even lowball offers, like, I don't know, say 120,000 US or something, that people would take it and be like, whoa, man. It's like, dude, I just sold my YouTube channel and bought this house or whatever. And there's people that are happy with that. But the thing is that, once it's gone, it's gone. And, anything that has been grown to a certain level and has captured a certain number of viewers, subscribers, once, whether it's a YouTube channel or a traditional media outlet, it creates perceived value. And it's not only perceived value, it's measurable value, because, one can look at analytics and they can study that on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And they can, see if their channel is growing or if it's floundering or whatever. And they can also see their earnings. So the thing I would challenge anybody to do is, if you encounter a similar situation where someone's wanting you to partner up as part of a multi-channel network, or if someone wants to buy your channel, take over your channel, boom, it's no longer yours. look at your analytics and look at your past few months, your past few years, and say, well, if I decided to take whatever offer, how many months or how many years would it take me to potentially earn that much? Because, once you've sold, you've sold. And if you sell, those earnings are no longer yours. You've got what was offered and inked or whatever, and in your bank account, and you're done. But the smart money would say, hey, well, this offer is decent. However, this offer would, if I continue to operate, X number of months or X number of years, I would expect to earn that. And you also should factor in future growth, because keep in mind, historical numbers, historical monthly earnings may not be the same in the future. I mean, you could grow, you could flounder. Tragic events could hit the world, and it could put a dent in the economy. The economy is very complex. So, you got to think about it. In a down economy, whether it's a pandemic or whatever, advertisers, there's different types. I mean, there's companies that have money to spend, and they're continuing to advertise because it's going to keep them going during hard times. And then there's businesses that that go completely belly up, and there's $0 to spend on advertising. So, you can never predict the future. But, the thing that I've encouraged everyone to do, and again, nothing wrong with people that are part of multi-channel networks on YouTube. That's fine. That's a choice they made. Maybe they're getting technical tips and marketing advice that will make them very successful. But the reality is that people that partner up and become part of a multi-channel network, they lose a large percentage of their earnings. Hypothetically, let's just insert some numbers here. Let's say that a YouTuber was independent, and that independent YouTuber every month was pulling in 1 million views. Well, let's say that they then become part of a multi-channel network, and now they're only taking 1/4 of those monthly earnings, and the multi-channel network is taking 3/4. So initially they've lost a lot of money every month because now it's all going to the multi-channel network. But let's say that this multi-channel network did provide value. Let's say that this YouTube MCN, it was not just them acquiring virtual real estate to generate monthly revenue. Let's say that they actually provided value. And let's say hypothetically that they took this once independent YouTuber that was only making 1 million views a month, was only bringing in 1 million views a month. Well, let's say that because of the efforts of the multi-channel network, that they're now at 4 million views a month. So the fact at that point that the MCN, the multi-channel network, was taking 3/4 of their earnings, if they've quadrupled their monthly views, monthly earnings, and now they're making 4 times per month what they were prior to MCN, well, now the MCN's getting a lot more, and they're getting the same. But let's say the next month that they hop to, even higher level. So, that the multi-channel network, for the right channels, it can more quickly propel them growth-wise, and then obviously growth often has a direct correlation with earnings. So there is value there. Now, see, I'm different because I like control, and I like to run my own ship, and I don't like anyone else telling me what to do or how to do it. So with that being the case, a multi-channel network would never work for me. What I do is, whether it's successful or if it's a failure, the only person I can blame is myself. Tim said I started watching back in the Phantom 3 days, and then Ashton started watching GoPro. Very cool. Yeah, man, y'all been around a long time, but yeah, where I'm going with this, and this is just part of my YouTube growth strategy series while I walk and try to become less fat during the pandemic. But yeah, I mean, don't allow yourself to feel that, something, even though it may seem big, like being asked to become part of one of the largest multi-channel networks, don't look at that as necessarily being a good thing. I mean, it could be, as I just illustrated, but it could also be an extreme negative. It could be a way to allow others that don't add value, that don't provide additional growth for your YouTube channel, to run off with all your loot or a large percentage of it. And likewise, even if it may seem like a big number, do your research, look at your analytics and say, well, what if I had accepted? And I think it was 282,000 US. I mean, it wasn't, it seems like, oh yeah, that's let's put marketing speak in here. Yeah, that seems like a big number. That's over $250,000, dude. You've got rocks in your head for not accepting that. But no, I don't let numbers, whether large or small, excite me. I look at the metrics, and I looked at that number and I just said, hey, this is a compliment. People appreciate the content I'm creating. They seem to, well, they obviously see the value, and they want a part of the pie. And I walked away from that with, thank you for your offer. Cool, Sebastian. I said, thank you for your offer, but I choose to remain independent. This is my gig, and I appreciate your offer, but I just couldn't let it go for that. And I mean, that's a way to let them down softly. You don't want to just say no. You want them to know that you appreciate your offer, but it's not enough, and and you've got plans for your own channel, and you like steering your own ship. So I mean, that, and I never look back at that and regret that, turning that down, because I know today that if I wanted to sell, I could sell, and I don't want to be unrealistic here, but comfortably I could sell for double that if I wanted to. But I don't want to, because number one, it's like whether it's a traditional television network or a YouTube channel, once it grows and it continues to grow, it becomes an even more valuable piece of virtual real estate. So, and it's not all about the money. I mean, that's a big component. But the thing I like about this is that I can do what I enjoy doing and have fun, but also make money and grow. And that is a rare opportunity, especially nowadays, when the traditional, and it's not so much the case with a younger demographic. I mean, I'm an old dude. I got gray hair. So, it's not so much the case with the younger demographic, but people of my age group and older people, they often only assume that a job or a way to make money entails, one individual working for another company. That's the assumption, and that's just that's an age group thing. The reality is that if people don't get distracted by, don't let themselves become distracted by offers such as multi-channel networks and, hey, I want to buy your channel. If they look at the numbers and, let the numbers speak, as far as analytics are concerned, and they look at they have, they consistently create content. They have a plan for content that at least goes a few years out. That is a lot more valuable than a quick, $280,000, $600,000 US. That is a lot more valuable. And that's it's tough, when you look at that. And the other thing is, just from a I'm trying to think of the best way to word this, but just a daily routine perspective. I know that, not just making money from YouTube, but I know that, everything that YouTube has provided as far as, I've become more better with photography, better with videography, and, there's been a lot of value that's been created as the product of working with YouTube every day. And those are good skills that are also transferable. So using this platform to challenge myself to better perfect my camera skills, to better perfect my audio skills, to better to question, how do I do this, how do I do that, and then actually figure it out and document it in the form of a monetized YouTube video. I mean, there's opportunities beyond the direct, monthly ad revenue, and those opportunities can be seized and utilized in other realms. So, for example, right now, I can do, and I do it. I do photography gigs. I can say, well, this is my rate. Well, what makes you different than other photographers? Well, what makes me different is that I consider myself to be I'm not a photographer that's a creative. I'm a photographer that knows how to use my equipment from the extensive amount of time I spent filming YouTube videos, knows how to utilize my equipment, how to capture good lighting, and how to capture what should be outstanding photos and or videos for whatever you want me to do. So, when I pitch it that way, and then they're like, well, how much is it? Well, that's where it's a little bit different too. I'm not charging for photography and for photo and video services. I'm not your traditional photographer with a photography studio and, the enhanced pricing. What I am is, okay, this is how much I'll charge for, per hour to be at your location. So, you'll owe me that for sure. Now, beyond that, all that you owe me is what you may choose to purchase. What I'll do after the event concludes, you'll pay me for my time. And then within X number of business days, I will send you a public or a private link that you can log into, and you can share with others that have the link, if you choose to do so. And you can view proofs of all the photos. So those, they have my watermark across them. So, someone couldn't be cheap and download it for free, but they'll be able to see the photos that I've touched up within Lightroom and, look very professional. And if they choose to buy them, I'm not going to print them out. I'm not going to do that. I don't deal with paper and printers. No. If they choose to buy them, they tell me, okay, I want to buy image number 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 12, whatever of the pot. And there's a price per image. It's all laid out. It's like, okay, per professional photo, it costs this much. If you decide to buy it, I give you the edited photo, and I also provide you the raw image that you own. I'm not, once we do business, yeah, it's great if you decide to come back, but with that raw image, if you decide to have another photographer touch it up in the future, it's all yours. You've got the raw data. If you want to use it in the future and not come to me, that's fine. So basically, I get the money for the amount of time I spent at the event. And not for sure, but more than likely, when you've had a photographer at an event, especially once in a lifetime event, potentially, you're probably going to want to buy at least some of those photos. And more than likely, you'll find the customers will probably purchase hundreds of photos. So, you know, even at let's say hypothetically, that you want to really offer bargain basement photography services. Well, let's say they buy 100 photos and you charge, and let's see, if you just charge $1 a photo, that's $100. But if you charge $2 a photo, that's $200. If you charge $5, that's $500. If you charge $10, that's $1,000. And those numbers seem cheap, but you can see how it adds up. So, and it is cheap. So basically, what's going to happen is that they're going to purchase a bunch of images. Then you've got your time that you spent at the event, and then you're getting word of mouth. It's like, well, you know, I looked at photographer so-and-so, but then I found this guy, and look, he didn't print anything out. You know, he charged me this reasonable fee to come out, and it was just an hourly rate. And then I was able to log on and, you know, in my pajamas and go through all the images and pick the ones I wanted. But if I didn't want to buy any, I didn't have to. There was no pressure. And he even gave me the raw unedited images. So, you know, it's a level of service that your traditional photographer is not going to provide, because your traditional photographer is going to want to retain those raw images. And if you want any, you know, different size prints, they're going to want you to go to them so they can pull the raw out and charge you again, and then charge you for the printing services. I don't do any of that. You know, I'll make a recommendation. I'll say, okay, you buy the digital images, and, you know, here's a few places that you may choose to go to print your photos online. Otherwise, you know, take them on a thumb drive to your local print shop and do that. But obviously the places I'd recommend online would be places that do a good job, but places that I have an affiliate relationship with. So, you know, if they go there through my links, I get some more money. So, you know, there's offshoots of YouTube that, you know, that can also generate a decent amount of income. And it's just, you know, it's skills that are learned from doing YouTube on a daily basis that make ventures like being a photographer that people actually want to use possible. I'm not a photographer. You know, I'm just a dude that has a camera, that does video and photo. But I know how to be cheap, and I know how to help others save money. And it's insane the amount of money that people will pay for a photographer. I mean, it's so easy to provide as good or better images and charge them a fraction of the price and still really make a lot. So, you know, that's just one example of, you know, of a side business that was created as the product of YouTube. So, you know, YouTube's a big thing, and a lot of people don't see all of the opportunity beyond direct advertising revenue from YouTube and its visibility. So, you know, as your YouTube channel grows, that's your advertising. You own it. You know, that's your channel. If you want to put up 10 videos about how great your photography business is, you can do it because it's your channel. And if you've got a lot of viewers, you're going to have a lot of people watching your channel, and they may want to use your services. So, you know, I feel it's an interesting thing. And I mean, like I've said over and over, and especially during these unprecedented times, you know, keep yourself moving, man. I mean, always think, what's next, and what else can I do? You know, never let yourself become comfortable, because if you become comfortable, you will no longer be as productive. and you will no longer be as financially successful. So, there's a lot of things that, here's the thing. If you get a bunch of things going concurrently, there's a lot of things working for you concurrently. So there's not one thing. I mean, it's not like, let's say, for example, I'm trying to think of a surgeon. You've spent X number of years in medical school and you became a surgeon. But, there's a top to that. I mean, it seems like good money, but the reality is that, there's been a lot of time that was invested to achieve that. So that's time wasted. Well, not wasted, but it was time that was invested without making money. You were investing time with the hopes of turning that time into an enhanced salary very soon after you finish, your med school to be a surgeon. So, that's one path. But that path is a path that is very financially comfortable lifestyle. But it's only one avenue. Just like this little street right here. You can see how it's windy and all that. If something derails and you're no longer a surgeon, let's say that you get sued for malpractice and it wasn't your fault, but because the legal system is crooked, that you're sued for malpractice and you can no longer be a surgeon. What else do you have? Well, you've got you've got that medical license or whatever, but because of malpractice, it's revoked. So, now you're an unfairly unlicensed doctor, because what happened was, the legal system, accused you wrongly of something, and you're no longer a surgeon. So your time that you spent in medical school was wasted. Your time spent on the job was wasted. What are you going to do now? It's not like you can just go to another hospital and work, because your medical license has been revoked. So, that's just one example of, a lot of people assume that, surgeons make a lot of money, and they do, but it's one path. It's one funnel for bringing in that green stuff that we all like, to be free, financial freedom. So that's just an example of a path that seems like you've done it, you're there, but just something as simple as someone filing an invalid claim of malpractice in the courts, falsely determining that it was malpractice, puts you out of you've wasted your entire life, and now you're nothing. So, that being the case, that's why I'm so adamant about multiple concurrent ventures. If you want to be a successful entrepreneur, everybody's going to fail a little bit every now and then. There's failures, but, from those failures, one can learn how to make the next entrepreneurial pursuit an even greater success. And just because there may be a failure or failures along the way, doesn't mean that those failed ventures were failures. It just means that, there's better opportunities, and you've used those lesser opportunities, those less profitable opportunities, to identify what's better. And that is why entrepreneurship is so important, especially during times like this. Y'all are watching. We've got people from all over the world starting YouTube channels. We've got people green screening at home for the first time. We've been reawakened as a world. And, a lot of us that never thought we would be looking for these kind of less mainstream career pursuits, a lot of people now see this as being ultimate opportunity. So, for that reason, due to popular demand, I'm sharing a lot of lessons learned. And I want to make money from this, no doubt. I appreciate your super chats, your super stickers, your comments, questions, supporting my channel on patreon.com/IRIXGuy. Yes, I'm in this for the money, but if I can also make money talking about how to possibly make money, again, nothing's guaranteed. There are no guarantees here. You may pursue something like this and fail 100%. Nothing is guaranteed, but like they say, if you don't try, you'll never know. Risk reward. The biggest risk that I ever assumed for this channel, the biggest risk, I would say the financial risk, was buying my first drone. And again, that was back when Phantom 2 had been out for a while, and I got the Phantom 1. I was a somewhat late adopter of drones. But that biggest risk turned out to be one of my biggest successes for the channel. And another risk that wasn't financial, I guess it could have been. I was in St. Martin at Maho Beach, and a 777 landed right over my head, about 10 feet over my head. The next week, a woman at that same spot was killed because of the jet blast. So, that could have been bad, but it turned out to be a good video. And it's a matter of, only you can determine your own risk tolerance, because risk tolerance is something that only an individual may determine for themselves, because for everyone, risk tolerance is different. I may be willing to risk $600 for a piece of technology, hoping that $600 risk may bring me thousands of dollars worth of reward from the videos. But other people may be willing to risk a lot more. We're all at different levels, financially and knowledge-wise. So, there's risk tolerance is only something that, that you can decide, that you can determine rather. And risk tolerance can fluctuate, as your, in the YouTube example, as your YouTube channel becomes more successful, you can probably afford, a little bit more financial risk. But as your YouTube channel becomes more successful, you can also become victim to a lot more things. So, always be vigilant about what you post. Always make sure that you're complying with terms of service. Do your due diligence and keep things clean, keep things advertiser friendly, because it's easy for people unwillingly to step outside of the safe sandbox and and get in a world of hurt. When you put months or potentially years into a business venture, you don't want to take chances that could negatively impact your business. So, that's something to always be aware of. And it's, YouTube is a big thing. As we've seen here. You can do it on your smartphone now. Who would have thought 20 years ago that we would have smartphones that are so capable? Who would have thought that we would have had internet that's so robust that it can handle streaming live HD video from a smartphone? That's crazy. And I was here before the internet was here. So I remember 2400 baud modems going over a phone line. And that was before the internet. That's back when they had Prodigy, CompuServe, America Online, later shortened to AOL. So, y'all remember Juno Internet? That was after CompuServe, Prodigy, and AOL. But, it's things have evolved, and there's opportunities. And whoa, I just dropped my phone. There's an opportunity to drop my phone too, and that could be an expensive. Well, this is an iPhone XR, and that's why I got it, because it's got good battery life, and it's not insanely expensive. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, y'all stay tuned, because there's gonna be a lot of entrepreneur targeted content here. So if there's any particular topic rather, that you'd like me to address within upcoming videos, the YouTube channel growth how-to that I've talked about today, this perspective, it's always important to anticipate what's next. And burnout, YouTube content creator burnout, is one of the biggest causes of failure for YouTubers, is that they get burned out because they do too much of the same content, or they become burned out because they can't think of topics to address next. And before, and we'll go for a little bit longer. I'm still walking here, but yeah, one of the things that I encourage everyone to do, and you can do it from your smartphone if you use Apple. Just pull open the little notes app. You put your notes in there, create you a note called Video To Do, and throughout the day, as you think of ideas, put them in your notes. And in that way, when the end of the day arrives, or the weekend or whatever, you've got a list of topics you can do. You can video. Maybe it's just a face-on video. Maybe it's a live show. Maybe it's a product demonstration. Maybe it's a travel video. You've got a variety of different topics. And, obviously stuff that's in the now, you need to do immediately. Like a new drone coming out, that's something I'm on immediately. But if it's just a how to cook a steak, that's something that I could put in my list, and potentially it could live at the bottom of the list until I've created the more in the moment type of videos. Current events, you definitely want to be current with that. I mean, if you're talking about news from 3 years ago now, you probably missed the bus. And that was, speaking of current events, one of the biggest current event plays that I played with my channel was when the crazy dude, Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, that was all in the news the end of last year. So that was before coronavirus. So I flew down to his island and took my drone and droned the island, just because I knew that Jeffrey Epstein was heavily searched. So sure enough, all the videos on my channel that you see, Jeffrey Epstein's island, Little St. James Island, that's the name of his island, is Little St. James. Those videos on my channel, those blew up, obviously, because they were in the now. It was right after the FBI had raided the place, and I felt that I had some good videos of his island. So that was a current events type content collection thing that I had, because I knew that, hey, that's heavily searched. It's going to be heavily searched. It is now, and it will be for at least a few months. And it's a fun destination. So, and that's the thing now with this pandemic, the opportunity to get up and travel and capture content it's not safe, and it's not doable. So, now is the time to, as entrepreneurs would say, now is the time to really pivot and identify ways to, like this little walking around show and talking about YouTube, things you can do in the interim to have fun and provide value. But whoa, there's a train. Whoa. So you never know what you're gonna catch, do you? That's crazy. Crazy. See, you didn't expect this, did you? You did not expect this. Whoa! Did not expect it. Yep. So you never know what you're going to catch. You never know. So, woo, craziness. Yep. So we got trains. We got all kinds of good stuff. That's another topic too. You know, if you had the space, you could do model trains, and you could film that and make them look big, and people would think they're seeing a real train, and it's really just a toy train going around a track. You know, that's another piece of YouTube content. Radio controlled vehicles, RC trucks, RC airplanes, RC helicopters. You know, just another great thing to YouTube. You know, there's opportunities, man. There's opportunities. So, with that being said, thank y'all for your viewership. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Again, you know, anytime you're watching a live show, you can choose to super chat or super sticker. Again, not required, but it's awesome when you do. And, you know, comment below. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want to hear next. And, you know, we'll do all kinds of live shows. And look at this thing right here. It's all dilapidated. Well, thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IREX guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day.